afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to. That's fried food for. Ooh, ooh, oh, yeah. So, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? I mean, this seems like the most squirrely time ever, but it's not really. Yeah. Look at that time just before the fall of Rome. Then it was the Holy Roman Empire. And then Paul was everywhere selling used cars. What part of the Bible do you like best? You know what part I like? I like whatever part I'm reading. But the best written part is Romans. It's like poetry. And it's short. It's like 20, 30 pages. And, the whole thing about Romans is about the message, right? And what is the message? The message is humans, us meat puppets, that's what we are. We are basically, wet work, We are the sin, we're the sin. You can't get out of it, right? The only person who can get rid of that sin is God. You can't. With good works, you can't get out. It's good to do good works. Good to be all those things that, when the Pharisees and the Sadducees said, "Hey, Jesus, so we have 8 million laws here. What's the most important ones? What 3,000 are the most?" He goes, no. I think, what's the first one? No false God in front of me. I think that's one, right? And the other one is treat your brother and sister like you want to be treated. I think those two cover it all, right? So pretty much if you do that, you're doing a good job. But you have to be, and what is born again? Is that, going into a bathtub? No. In the Jordan River? No, right? Swimming pool? No. Being born again is being with God every second of your life, right here, right in your heart. Every nanosecond. See, the past is gone. You don't have to worry about that. The future's not here yet. Don't have to worry about that. And everything that you're told, like the Old Testament, right? The Torah, you translate that because it was written in Greek. So the word Torah is Hebrew, but in Greek to English, Torah means you suck. Pretty much that's what the Old Testament's going on about. Everything that everyone does bad. There are a few rock stars, Abraham and Isaiah and Moses and all those guys, but they still sucked. Look at Moses, really, please. But everyone was screwing everyone, their sisters, their daughters, or everything, the dog, everything. You suck. So when God said, all I want is a nice walk in the sun with you guys, every time you see in the Old Testament, and Larry walked with God. That's all he wanted, to walk with God, Let's see. Hey, Sensie Owl Bob. Quick question. Have you ever encountered Sasquatch? Of course. Yes, many times. In the deep green. See, you guys, everyone, pretty much, if you're in the body, you're stuck in the idea of time. That's why physics doesn't work. That's why they constantly have to jigger, these are set laws, time, space, gravity, E equals something squared. This is all, no. Sorry. I mean, this place is covered in dimensional, and right here, right where I'm sitting, I'm sitting at a big table. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 seats here, and I'm sitting with other creatures that are sitting right here with me. No one can see them. I can't, but I can feel them. So Sasquatch is here, and when people see him, he just kind of walked out of the men's room, and look at that, and everyone kind of goes like that, and he walks back into the men's room. So, yeah. I have a number of great Sasquatch stories. But out in the deep green, I mean, he just loves to have fun. So one of my neighbors didn't want to drag a big old refrigerator that didn't work. They got a brand new one that they got on their credit card, So to take it out, they didn't have a vehicle, so they dragged it down the locking road. They want to throw it into the woods. I said, what are you doing with that? I said, we want this. It kind of works. I I said, yeah, drag it up to my place. So they put it outside, and it did kind of work. The freezer worked, but it was winter. I didn't need it. So I unplugged it and just let it sit there. And somebody used to go in and out of the doors, very nicely, kind of look, and it didn't do anything, right? And then it became springtime. I attached a garden hose to it, and that refrigerator actually made ice cubes. It was like, oh, wow. I live out here in the middle of nowhere, and so, this spring water ice cubes. So it was, ooh la la, especially when I had guests. Martinis. Shaken, not stirred. Anyway, so, one day I started putting stuff in there, and then Sasquatch kept taking stuff out and going over and frying the stuff up on the on the electric grill and I was getting, so I kind of put a little lock on it. Sasquatch picked this refrigerator. Just think of a gigantic big refrigerator you have if you're a rich person. One of those big 2-door big things, right? And Sasquatch turned it upside down, pulled everything out of it, threw it all over the place, and balanced it on one corner. Not against the building, just, like when you you sprinkle some salt on the table, and then you put a penny on the edge of it, and that one little kernel of salt is holding it there, and you kind of blow the rest off and say, look at that, it's standing there. Anyway, that's what that refrigerator was there. So, and Sasquatch also, I recycle. Whenever I get a styrofoam cup, I take it home and reuse it until it kind of disintegrates, right? And that's my best way of, feeling okay about using this world, right? This disposable world. This thing that's designed to only be used once, I use it over and over and over and over and over until it's not usable. Not a problem. Then I put it together and I burn it right there. Instead of putting it in a landfill, I burn it there because it makes less, pollutants burning it there than it does. It's like my toilet paper. I burn my toilet paper after I use it. I collect it in a bag and then I burn it, right? Because if you use toilet paper and you put it down into your septic tank, you're going to have to pump your septic tank out at least once a year, if not twice, right? Depending on how much you use it, right? Me, don't do that. Just poop and water go down the pipe. And I've had it for 22 years, never had to pump the septic tank out. Anyway, so that's my my Sasquatch story. Great glasses, yeah. So what are these, I'm reading, Romans in the Bible, The Christian guy sit over there, and I said, asked him, hey boys, what part of the Bible you like? And they go, because they don't know any part of the Bible. But I'm a Christian. And I said, what part do you like? And they said, all of it. And I said, oh, that's nice. And they said, what part of the Bible do you like? I said, whatever part I am reading at the moment. That's like the good answer, right? Instead of the whole thing, right? So, and they then say, and I said, and I am reading at this moment. I just finished doing Acts, and Acts is great. It's like an action, it's like the Blues Brothers. Read Acts, it's like the Blues Brothers. The movie, the first one, the car crash, Acts, right? The other one I'm reading now is Romans, and Romans, it is the best because it's no, I've got to be more specific. It's the best written. I mean, it's like, it is poetry. The other is like this kind of Humpty Dumpty poetry, the rest of the Bible, because it was written by monkeys with crayons, right? So, but Romans, ooh la la. And so what is the story? What is the main thesis of Romans? Right? It says as if you judge anyone, you're going to the lake of fire, right? So if you say that to people, you're going to the lake of fire, Because everyone on this earth that's in the flesh is a sinner. Can't help it. It's like it comes along with the warranty, guaranteed, right? But God can forgive you. And the way that works is all those chocolates. And Larry lived to be 100 million years old, and he didn't start having babies until he was 600. And God walked with him. Well, that's what, that's the story, Methuselah, his grandfather and father, walked with God. Not Methuselah, not so much. He wanted to be a rock star. He wanted to be an A-lister. So all those guys who were A-listers, Moses and Noah, and the only one who wasn't that was Joseph. Because he went through all this, his brothers tried to kill him, then they throw him down the well, then they, sell him into slavery, and then he goes to jail, and he helps everyone in jail and says, tell the king that I'm a nice guy. They forget to tell him, he stays right, and ends up being the number one most important person in Egypt. So that's the one rock star that had humility and also loved God. Praise God, praise Jesus. And that's not, that's coming from being mano a mano, not mano a mano, but I am the doula of love's co-creation's agape point of view. So anyway, that's what it is. I just wanted to reach out to you guys and say hi. I don't know. It never tells me how many people really are watching. I mean, it does, like this minute there is 3 people there and 1 thumbs up. Hey there. And it's always good to see the cadre. So come on back, when I can get out and about and fly the Wi-Fi and go on. I don't have any, I have a passive-aggressive phone. All my other digital world, my laptop, my everything, my tablet, all that kind of stuff, gone. My digital recorder, gone. And it's because the deep green is a place that it is the Garden of Paradise. So it has that same motif, right? So it doesn't really like sin. It doesn't really like that. So it really doesn't let the digital world exist, except if I needed to call you, it would work. But otherwise, but out here, my passive-aggressive phone hates the fact that I don't have it in the Google Cloud. I won't pay the $3. Because I don't spend money I don't have. So that's the story. So I gotta go. And I'll see you later. Let's see, what time is it now? No, it's still relatively early, so good. Talk to you later. Don't worry about what's going on. It doesn't matter. What matters, you're the decider. This year is your year to figure out what you want to do.